Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Look, I did not mean to do that. I ended the stream super abruptly. That was not on purpose. I was pressing the button. I'm like, what are you doing right now? And I ended it. My apologies, everyone. Whoever is going to come up on this. Look, I did not mean to end that way. I pressed the button like almost like a habit, right? That wasn't supposed to happen. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry, right? I can finally leave from in front of my job. The whole time I am in the car in front of my job. My apologies to everyone, right? Um, that I ended the stream that way. We didn't even give no commentary. We didn't do none of it. My apologies, everyone. Mr. Z, what you got going on? I don't know, a 2 hour long conversation with FD or however long that was. Um, and we'll get through it and whatever. Okay, look. Shout out to the brother FD Signifier once again for coming on to Z stream. Shout out to y'all for listening in. Like I said, my apologies. I did not mean to end it so abruptly. That was not on purpose. I pressed it as a force of habit, and I was pressing the end button. And as I'm pressing it, and my finger is getting off, I'm like, "What are you doing?" Right? My apologies, everyone. My apologies. Look, I maintain what I said to the brother. All that talk sound and when he described when FD Signify described his relationship, and I will do him that solid and stop mentioning his sons, but like I said, there's a reason I speak to that. And the resilience thing, I let that slide because he did mention resilience. He did mention the Black Manosphere's lack of resilience on a stream that he did or a video that he did. But I still maintain that all that talk sound nice until it's time to get married. And as he spoke of, see, it's interesting because, like I said, patriarchy by feminist specifications. And it's very interesting that he decided to jump on the stream that I was speaking about South Korea. Don't miss that, right? I don't think he did that on purpose, but don't miss what I was saying. I was speaking about wanting men to still pay the taxes for you to stick your middle finger up at them, right? For you to say, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have children, but men are supposed to pay the taxes to float you until you eventually pass, right? Don't miss that. So there's that. But it is patriarchy by feminist specifications. It is playing the role of provider protector, but not having the say so and the authority, and Mr. Z is going to say it, and the power of the provider protector, right? And I have fun having men sign up for that. Men in general, black men specifically, have fun. And that's why I brought up South Korea. Apparently, South Korean men are like, yeah, about that. No. Have fun getting men to sign up for that. Both in intimate relationships and platonically out there in society. Right? So yeah, my apologies for ending the stream so abruptly. I did not mean to do that. That was not on purpose. Um, yeah. True Blocker says, "Let us up, Z." Look, Z got work in the morning. I I have to go to sleep. But what we will do is we will do a stream tomorrow. Look, Mr. Zeta, man, I had a whole night planned. My girl gonna be mad. Oh, we was we were supposed to watch Monarch tonight. By the way, Monarch, that's the company that does the research and whatever for Godzilla. And we watched the first 2 episodes, and I wanted to leave the third episode until 2 more come out so we could knock those 2 out, give it 2 weeks for the other 2 to come out, and then watch those 2, right? And yeah, that all went to the crapper. So yeah. Yeah, I'll do a panel hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon. So that's the plan. Maybe, possibly. If not tomorrow, definitely by Monday. So that's what we'll do. So we'll go for tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely by Monday. Monday afternoon, we will do a panel and we will speak about this, right? Um, and once again, thank you, FD, for coming up and having that conversation. But as I said, like, have fun, and I don't know how much y'all are socializing men. I think this is some wizardry and trickery. Socializing men, yeah, you're gonna provide and you're gonna pay, and she's gonna. I said it. Your funds, she runs. Your funds, FUNDS, she runs. Excuse me, RUNS, right? It's your money. It's her power. What? Right? Oh, okay, okay. What's going on, G? Right? But yeah, so you know, oh, that conversation. I'm not gonna be able to look down on the phone for a little while, you guys. About to jump on the expressway, so if y'all while y'all putting comments down, um, but yeah, so I'm I'm glad that we had the conversation, but I think much of what I say was proven here, you know, and like I said, brother, you made your wife a stay-at-home mother, right? Y'all could say you could say it how you want to say it, how it ended up being that. Um, yeah, she want to be a mother. She want to stay like that's what a lot of women are on. I think we've put women in a way messed up position where they got to pretend like they don't want these things or they don't care for these things. But then when you put them in the position, that's what they really want. When you tell them, hey, it's okay to say this is what you really want, they say it. As a matter of fact, they kind of say it now. You know, there's something to be said about overdoing it on social media and the messages that are shown on the internet and social media and how accurate they are or how they give us skewed perspectives. I've said this before, but I think FD, on the other hand, plays this down a little too much. That's why I brought up the video of the sister on the beach saying "sprinkle, sprinkle." Right? That was random. I don't think that brother. I don't think that was a skit. I don't think that brother went out looking for a woman like her or women like that. That was random, right? And excuse me, my nose. All of a sudden, I was perfectly okay. Well, not perfect. It started getting bad towards the end, but I was okay speaking to FD, and all of a sudden, right? But yeah. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry about that. I know that's annoying, um, but you know, speaking to the brother, I the perspective, man. And like I said, no, we frame it over here. We frame it the right way, right? You can say cherry pick data. I argue that we frame it the correct way. Um, I think there's something to be said for what he said about, and I understand the seed that he plants there. And no, Mr. Z will not have any resentment for the brothers with bigger channels, et cetera, and how they got the bigger channels and their language and their. I see it, I see it. Um, but there is something to be said about the rhetoric and how we deliver how we deliver our message. And I am here, right, to frame things a little differently, right? If we're speaking about black men and their plights, black men, black male power, black men in relation to black women, and how white supremacist society has used black women to minimize black men and their plight. Let's call a thing a thing. Don't miss that he knew I was speaking about Kim Foster. That's why he said her name. He didn't say nobody else's name. I did not describe her. I did not describe anything that she ever said. I said nothing, and he knew. I said the only one over there that I can even give you that has been pretty consistent is Julesy, right? It's Julesy. Tina is a little different because she's kind of doing her other things sexually or whatever. Um, Khadijah, right? We understand her situation's a little different, right? T Noir, I already said you know. Nappy and Aroba, recently has said some things that are, you know, but yeah, I I think speaking to us as if everything that we're getting is off of social media, I think it's dangerous. Do I think that there are brothers and there are people that heavily focus on social media? Yes. Do I think that's what we do here only? No. Do I think FD is speaking to something when he says he was not around women who who spoke about like white men in this aspirational way. Um, but I was, and it wasn't my mother. It wasn't particular aunts, but it was associates. Offhanded comments you would hear from women writ large, black women writ large, about how white men operate compared to black men and how that is more desirable than black men. How non-black men in general operate and how that's more desirable than black men, right? And I think minimizing that there is a number of black women who have this sentiment, you know, trying to catch me up on saying, so are you saying that um, how racism hits black women and how black women are perceived and they're no, I've always said it. I've said that yeah, that's true, and that black women's best bet is with black men, and that they need to stop throwing temper tantrums about it and come over here with a smile. By the way, or you could be like I keep on saying, you could be the bust down for the white dudes. You could be the bust down for the white dudes, right? Or you could do the same sex loving relationship thing. I know why I say it, and I'm glad that the brother actually kind of acknowledged it. Like, yo, like, yeah, that's a thing. And I'm like, yeah, the DV rate, but not just the DV rate, they're not having sex over there. Which I'm surprised that he didn't know that that's a thing. Like, lesbian relationships, they don't have sex. They don't have sex like that. Like, I'm not just saying they don't ever have sex. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying their sex rate is like abysmal, right? Excuse me, y'all. Coming down with a cold, unfortunately, right? Yes, believe it or not, like it does get chilly every once in a while in South Florida. Yes, it does, right? The tropics get cold every once in a blue, right? So there's a lot to unpack from that conversation. Y'all go ahead and share it and speak on it and let me know what I could have worked on. I'm pretty sure it's going to be dissected. Um, I don't have a problem speaking to Themis, but like you said, FD, he's not a black woman. Um, I don't want to use any slurs, but there's something to say. And if I'm not mistaken, Themis is what, an attorney or an attorney or a lawyer. I'm not sure if he passed the bar or not. So an attorney or a lawyer. There's some. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Look, you know, and y'all prepare because FD did say he's gonna go on our neck on his FD signifier B side channel, right? So y'all be prepared to be annoyed by what he's gonna say, you know. And speaking, and I knew a gender war video was coming because he's been setting it up. I knew. By the way, brother, I knew it. I should have said that when you were on the channel. Actually, I knew a gender war video was coming. I knew it was gonna be titled gender war. Because you've been setting it up. I see you. I see the foot. And you know what? It'd be funny because it'll be funny if he doesn't title it gender war, right? But the overall thought, like I knew a gender war video was coming, right? So, yeah. Shout out to FD Signifier for coming up and having the conversation and spending some time. And that was very interesting because he just caught me. I was literally about to start rolling, but I didn't want to get into a place that might be a dead zone, and I didn't want to be the one losing signal, so I stayed where I was. And yeah, my car is probably like, bruh, I'm gonna need you to stop like having me on with the motor running and everything for how long and not going anywhere. Right? But yeah, so y'all go ahead and dissect that, and I guess I'll hear the critiques of it starting tomorrow morning, and I guess people will be pouring over it, and I don't expect it to do numbers like that. I don't expect the type of fanfare the same type of fanfare that happened when FD first started engaging with the space, but I think people will critique it and dissect it and listen to it and et cetera, et cetera. I hope I did a solid this time. I'm hoping I did better than I did last time. There was a lot of things that I missed. He brought up misogyny again. I was like, ha ha, right? And he did it in the opening too. I was like, ha. This time I remember to ask you, what do you mean by that, right? So there's that. But it wasn't just a got you conversation. I think it's important. Um, I think what he was speaking to, like, I don't think it's just internet stuff, bro. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think it's just internet stuff. You know, and I think just because women frame things a certain way doesn't mean that they're not saying the same thing as us, right? I think because black women frame something a certain way doesn't mean they're not saying the same thing, right? I think that's something that needs to be stressed. And as I said to him, like, what do black women have to say? Like, how blatant does it have to be? How blatant does and he's speaking like we're in our bubbles. I'm like, but are you? And that's why I brought up Anne Marie Slaughter, like, and what she said, like, Brooklyn gives the lie to all of this stuff about this power couple stuff and women being okay being the primary breadwinner, right? That's why I brought up Anne Marie Slaughter. She said that, and I would argue to FD, brother, if you still listening in, you think that we're in our bubble, but I think you're specifically on that point, right? Specifically on that point, I think that you're in your bubble. I think there's a bubble of upwardly mobile people, not just black people, but people where the women is the primary caretaker, and she's perfectly okay with that. Not primary caretaker, primary provider. She's financially head of household, and she's perfectly okay with that. I'm not saying whether the man is or not. I'm saying she is the woman, the wife, right, the girlfriend, right. And I think there's a bubble of women and men that are perfectly okay with that dynamic. That think way more women are okay with that dynamic, that are living that dynamic, or that dread potentially living that dynamic. I think y'all are. I think y'all way overplay that. I think way less women are okay with that, right? And I'm glad that I got to say to him before he left, economically unattractive men lead to a downturn in marriage. Are leading to a downturn in marriage. I'm glad I got to slip that in before he left. Brother, look that up. If you're still listening in, look that up, because there's so much, it's not cherry picked, right? There's so much data that speaks to this. Like, women, we're not saying men, because you're trying to tear down patriarchy. Have fun. You know what? Not only white men, but have fun trying to get women on board. That's why I brought up Anne Marie Slaughter again. We're not speaking about what men are on. We're not speaking about men feeling uncomfortable with their wife earning more. We're speaking about women, right? We're speaking about women in that 50-50. And it's really interesting how you framed your situation with your wife. I'm not going to go too far into it, but with the primary provider. Yeah. Anyway, all right, y'all. I'm not gonna speak on this too much. Where we'll speak on it again coming up. Either later on today. Oh no, well, not even later on today. I thought it was after 12. We'll speak on it tomorrow, or if not tomorrow afternoon, Monday afternoon. Right. So I'm not gonna keep y'all waiting too long. I might be borging it out right now. I'm not sure. I know I'm in a dead zone. So we'll pause right there. Truly, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. All right, everyone. Mr. Z out. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night.